Some Jeep Wrangler mods should never be DIY projects. One missed bolt, one bad weld, or one wrong adjustment can leave you with death wobble, a totaled transmission, or worse. Before you grab your toolbox, here are 8 Wrangler mods that are worth paying a professional to install. Number 8 is the winch install. Everybody thinks a winch is easy. Bolt it on the bumper, run 2 wires to the battery, done. That's exactly why so many Jeeps roll into the shop with fried wiring and burned solenoids. When a worn Xeon 10 or a Smitty-built XRC pulls hard, it drinks about 400 amps. That kind of pull will melt cheap cable in seconds. You need real 2-0 welding cable. You need a 400 amp breaker within 10 inches of your positive post, and you need a clean ground straight to the frame. Skip one of those and you get a dead starter or a real engine fire. On a JK Wrangler, the stock bumper can't even hold a winch, so you're doing a full bumper swap or a proper worn plate. On a JL or Gladiator, the factory steel bumper works, but every bolt has to hit 90 foot-pounds. Miss that number and your winch rips off the first time you actually need it. That's when the cable can snap back at highway speed and take your windshield with it. Forums are full of guys who wired it wrong and had battery fires 3 weeks later. A shop does it right for $150 to $300. But even a fire in your engine bay is nothing next to what number 7 can do to you. And that brings us to onboard air and lockers. The ARB twin compressor with ARB air lockers is the dream setup. Air up your tires in minutes, lock both diffs with a switch, total grip on any trail. However, this one is not a weekend job, not close. You're drilling and tapping a 1/4-inch hole right into your differential. You're running a 5mm air line through the whole frame. You're wiring a 12-volt solenoid that has to hold pressure between 85 and 105 pounds per square inch with 0 leaks anywhere. One tiny leak and your compressor never stops running. Battery dies fast. Compressor burns out. Wire the 2 solenoids backwards and your rear switch locks the front diff instead. Now you're locked at 65 miles an hour with no steering. That's a rollover, plain and simple. The wiring is the easy half. The locker itself replaces the whole carrier inside your diff. You have to reset pinion depth. You have to set backlash between 8 and 10 thousandths of an inch. You have to check the gear pattern with marking paint. Get one number wrong, and your ring and pinion turn into metal dust in about 500 miles. A proper install runs $1,500 to $2,500. A blown DIY means you're rebuilding both diffs from scratch. Yet somehow, the next mod on this list sneaks up and kills more transmissions than the lockers ever will. Rolling into number 6, we're talking about speedometer recalibration. This one sounds like nothing. It's actually the mod that quietly murders Jeeps. Slap 35-inch or 37-inch tires on your Wrangler and skip the calibration, and every computer in the truck starts telling lies. Your speedo reads slow. Your odometer cheats you on miles. Your shift points slide off. Your ABS guesses wheel speed wrong. Your traction control starts firing at the worst possible second on a wet road. On a JL, that same wheel speed data drives the electronic stability control. Feed it bad numbers, and it makes bad calls right when you need it most. The Superchips FlashCal F5 fixes calibration for tires from 26 to 42 inches and gears up to 5.38. Same story with the TrailCal and Alpha OBD. But these tools only work if you enter the exact tire size and the exact new gear ratio. Off by half an inch, or one ratio tick wrong, and your transmission starts hunting for gears on the highway. That hunting eats your torque converter and burns your clutch packs to powder. On a 2018 or newer JL, a bad calibration can even light up a check engine light the dealer won't clear until you flash it back to stock. One typo today equals a $3,000 transmission 3 months later. Quick pause for a second. If you're planning any upgrades on your Wrangler, my Jeep Longevity Guide walks you through the maintenance, mods, and expensive mistakes that catch owners off guard. The link is in the description below. That takes us to the Big Brake and hydroboost upgrade. Bigger tires need bigger brakes. Simple as that. However, a big brake kit is not a bolt-on. It's a full rebuild of your braking system. You're swapping the master cylinder for one with a different bore size, and that changes how much pressure gets to your calipers. Get the bore size wrong, and your pedal drops to the floor, or it goes hard as a brick with no stopping power behind it. You're also messing with the proportioning valve on older Wranglers like the TJ, which decides how much brake pressure goes front versus rear. Set that wrong, and your rear tires lock up in a panic stop. Now you're spinning sideways at 70 miles an hour. Now add a hydroboost conversion, which most guys do when they jump to 37Es. Hydroboost hooks your power steering pump straight into your brake booster, so one bad line, one wrong fitting, and you lose steering help and brake help at the same second. On the highway, at speed. Even after the parts go in, you still have to bleed the ABS module. On any modern Jeep that needs a scan tool, running the right ABS bleed steps or air gets trapped in the module for good. Trapped air means a soft pedal that never firms up no matter how many times you pump it. Forum after forum, guys post the same nightmare. $1,000 in parts, 3 weeks of work, and the brakes still feel wrong because a shuttle valve shifted during the bleed. A shop does it right for $1,500 to $2,500, but even a soft pedal on the freeway isn't the mod that ends the most DIY careers. That comes next. Number 4 on this list is regearing the axles. Ask any mechanic with 10 years of experience which job they refuse to touch. Most of them say regearing. Setting up a ring and pinion isn't turning wrenches, it's art. You're setting pinion depth within a couple thousandths of an inch. You're crushing a crush sleeve to an exact number measured in inch pounds, not foot pounds. You're setting backlash between 8 and 10 thousandths on the ring gear. Miss one number and your gears howl every time you touch highway speed. Miss it by more, and your ring and pinion grind themselves into shavings inside your Dana 30 or Dana 44 in about 500 miles. You don't hear it coming until it's over. The tools alone will drain your wallet. A bearing press, a dial indicator, gear marking paint, a diff spreader, a torque wrench that reads in inch pounds, setup bearings so you're not wrecking the real ones during trial fits. Even cheap versions of that stack up to $300 before you even make your first mistake. A shop charges $1,200 to $2,000 to regear both axles with fresh bearings, seals, and gaskets. A DIY failure means new gears, new bearings, a new carrier, plus your Jeep sitting on jack stands for a month. Easy 3 times the cost. And the mod right after this? It can cause the one thing every Jeep owner is scared of: death wobble. Which brings us to the steering upgrade. Everyone talks about death wobble like nobody knows what causes it. That's not true. A lot of the worst cases start with a botched steering install somebody did in their garage on a Saturday. When you swap in a heavy-duty tie rod, a drag link, a steering box brace, or a PSC hydraulic assist, you're changing how every force moves through your front end. The torque numbers are brutal. 47 foot-pounds at the knuckles, 77 foot-pounds at the pitman arm, 50 foot-pounds for the steering stabilizer. Under-torque any one of those and you get play. Play turns into shake. Shake at 45 to 55 miles per hour is death wobble. That's when your steering wheel shakes so hard you can barely hold on to it. Now add a PSC cylinder assist kit and it gets worse fast. You're bolting on a high-pressure ram. You're running new lines. You're welding brackets onto the axle. Get one weld wrong or use the wrong bolts against a Synergy or Yeti XD track bar brace and you can crack the steering gearbox clean in half. That's a $1,200 box turned into a paperweight. Here's the part most owners never hear. The death wobble settlement finalized in June 2023 covered about 1.1 million Wrangler and Gladiator owners with an 8-year, 90,000-mile warranty on their front steering damper. About 192,000 Jeeps got named in that lawsuit. A specialist installs your steering right for $800 to $1,500. Yet even that horror is nothing next to what number 2 can do to your Jeep overnight. Straight into number 2, which is the axle swap. If you're running 37-inch tires or bigger, your factory Dana 30 front axle is a ticking bomb. It'll snap on the wrong rock on the wrong day. The real fix is a 1-ton swap, usually a Ford Super Duty Dana 60 pulled from a 2005 or newer F250. But this isn't a job. It's a fabrication project from top to bottom. You have to tear the donor axle apart. Every factory Ford bracket gets ground off. 2 inches of cast housing has to come off the short side. Then you weld on a Barnes 4WD or Motobuilt truss kit to hold your Jeep's control arm mounts in the right spots. Every weld matters. One cold weld on a control arm mount, and that bracket rips off the axle the first time you land hard on a rock. Now your front axle is dragging by the brake lines, and you're already $8,000 deep into the swap. On top of that, the Super Duty runs an 8x170 lug pattern, which doesn't match your Jeep, so you need new wheels or adapters. Custom lower control arms, a custom track bar, new brake lines, a new front drive shaft, new steering, basically a whole new front end. A proper shop build runs $6,000 to $12,000 with the axle. A botched DIY leaves you a Jeep you can't drive and can't fix without cutting your own welds back off. This isn't for a first-time welder, it's for the guy who's done 10 of these already. Yet even that nightmare is smaller than what number one does to Jeeps every single weekend. That takes us to the top of the list, the suspension lift kit. This is where most horror stories start. A guy installs a 3 or 4 inch lift in his garage on a Saturday, test drives it Sunday, hits 45 miles an hour, steering wheel starts shaking so hard he can barely hold it. That's death wobble. And most of the time it's not the kit's fault, it's the install. When you lift a Jeep, you change caster angle, camber, track bar setup, drive shaft angles, and brake line length. Every one of those has to be corrected, or your Jeep gets dangerous at highway speed. Factory caster on a JK sits around 4 to 5 degrees. A 2-inch lift knocks that number down. Without adjustable control arms to bring it back, your front end wanders and shakes. On any lift over 3 inches, you also need a slip yoke eliminator and a CV drive shaft. Skip those, and the vibration will trash your transfer case output shaft. You need longer brake lines. You need a proper track bar, or a raised track bar bracket to keep the axle centered under the frame. You need taller bump stops, or your tires slam into the fenders when you flex. After all that, you still need a real alignment on a rack that can measure caster. Your driveway toe adjustment will be off by a full degree, easy. Forum after forum, same story. Installed the lift, got death wobble. Threw $1,000 at random parts. Finally paid a shop to fix it in 1 hour. The NHTSA investigation that closed in October 2023 covered about 192,000 Jeeps with front-end problems tied to bad setup. A shop lifts your Jeep right for $700 to $1,500 with alignment. A DIY disaster costs you shocks, a track bar, an alignment, and sometimes a totaled Wrangler. So if you take one thing from this whole video, take this. A lift kit is the one mod where saving $800 in labor can cost you your Jeep. So that's the full list. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these mods have you already installed? Or which one were you thinking about doing yourself? Drop a comment below. I read every one of them, and your experience might save another Jeep owner thousands. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button because every week I share the maintenance tips, hidden features, and costly mistakes that keep Wranglers on the road longer. And if you want to keep your Jeep running for hundreds of thousands of miles, click the video on your screen right now. I'll see you over there.